welcome you guys again to our channel. Alright, so in our previous video we solved the question on an inclined plane. So I have a question here with me. Alright, this question is also something similar to what we solved last. Alright, so I will advise every one of us and encourage everyone to try out this problem, and then if you have any difficulty in solving it, you can chat me up. Alright, then we'll resolve that. But today we want to talk about coefficients of kinetic friction and coefficient of static friction. What are actually the difference between these two quantities? Alright, so that's what we want to talk about today, and here's a question we want to use to drive home our points today. And the question is saying, if mu x, we call this mu, and mu k are coefficients of static and kinetic friction respectively, then mu x is less than mu k, and b, mu x is less than or equal to mu k. We have option C saying mu x is equal to mu k. Option D is saying mu x is greater than mu k. Option E is saying mu x is equal to mu k and also equal to 1. So what is actually the answer? We would all get to know that after discussing what they are and their differences. Okay, so let's go into that. First, I'll talk about coefficients of static friction. Coefficients of static friction. Now let's start with what friction is actually. Now many of us already know what friction is. Friction is that force that tends to oppose the motion between two bodies. Alright, when the body is trying to move this way, friction is saying no, you are going this way. Alright, now we know we have two types of friction: the static friction and the dynamic friction. I would say static friction is the frictional force that is prevalent between two bodies that are at rest or that are in constant motion. Alright, now it means that coefficient of static friction is the extent to which friction is acting on two bodies at rest, or we can put it this way, is the measure of the extent to which frictional force is acting on a system of bodies. Alright, now since we've understood what this means, it means before a body can move, I must overcome a coefficient of friction, and that coefficient of friction is called coefficient of static friction. Alright, so let's put that down. Before a body can move or start motion, coefficient of static friction must first be overcome. Hope that makes sense. Alright, so it is very clear now that coefficient of static friction is that effect of friction, alright, that is prevalent on a body that is not yet in motion. That is what coefficient of static friction is. Now let's talk about coefficient of kinetic friction. Coefficient, and of course we know that this is F over R. Okay, coefficients of kinetic. From the word kinetic, of course you know something is moving. Now this is the effect of friction on a body that is already moving. Alright, so coefficient of kinetic friction is that effect of friction that is prevalent, that you find in a system of bodies that is already moving. Alright, so we say this is the amount of friction that affects a system of bodies in motion already. Now let's now analyze. What do you say? What do you think? Okay, what's your own say? Do you think the coefficient of friction before a body starts moving will be lesser than the coefficient of friction before a body do you feel the coefficient of friction before a body starts moving will be lesser than the coefficient of friction while the body is already moving? That's a very interesting question to answer. Now let's analyze. The amount of force you need to make a body move, is it the same force that you need to continue moving a body? A body is moving. You want to increase the rate at which that body is moving. That force you need to increase that rate at which that body is moving, do you think it's the same thing with the force you need to start the body to move first? Now it's so clear that the force you need to make a body to start moving should be greater than the force you need to keep a body moving. Do you understand? So it is very clear that the coefficient of static friction is greater than coefficient of kinetic friction. Of course, it's very clear, because this is coefficient of kinetic friction, which is also equal to Fr, frictional force over normal reaction. So that makes sense, because the force required to make a body to start moving is greater than the force required to keep a body moving. It shows that the coefficient of friction, that means the friction acting on a body at rest, is greater than the friction acting on a body that is already in motion. So that answers this question. So let's go back to the question. It says, if mu x and mu k are coefficients of static and kinetic friction respectively, then option A, mu s is less than k. This is not correct. Coefficient of static friction can never be lesser than coefficient of what? Kinetic friction. Mu s is less than or equal to k. This is not also correct. We have here that mu s is equal to k, never correct. D, we have here that mu x is greater than mu k. Of course, this is our correct answer. So here you have it. We've been able to do justice to the difference between coefficient of static friction and coefficient of dynamic friction, which is the same thing as kinetic. Dynamic is the same thing as kinetic. All right, so it's just a system of moving body. All right, so that is all about this video. So hope you got something, you gained value from this video, and please make sure you like, subscribe, comment, and also share the video. We'll be doing more videos on friction. Of course, this is not our last video. We have more questions, and make sure you try this question out, please. The question says 40 kg mass rests on a smooth plane inclined at 60 degrees to the horizontal, okay, and you are asked what force holds it from sliding down the plane. Of course, this is very easy, so try this and let me see what you can do, and make sure you drop your answers on the comment section. Thank you very much. See you later.